Welcome back to another episode of the What Everybody podcast. Episode 67, can you believe it? One thing hasn't changed through all this time, and that is Ryan and Jonny, they like to complain a lot, and today isn't going to be any different. With that being said, they're going to bring on self-proclaimed, well, not really self-proclaimed, we proclaimed him the number one fan of the What Everybody podcast, Andy Guttercat, all the way from the United Kingdom. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a cold one, a corn dog if you choose, and enjoy the show. With no further ado, Ryan and Jonny.
I didn't hook it up yet. So if we drop out,
hello, welcome
problems.
Back. Hi.
Anyway.
First, let's say hi to people. People don't want to hear about your internet problems. That's not
I know.
their
I came in
problem,
with that.
So why do you even tell them?
I came in with that.
Everybody.
That was.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say hi. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the What Everybody podcast. Here on a nice Wednesday, a What Everybody Wednesday. It's actually Thursday for us. We're recording on a What Everybody Thursday. But it will be a What Everybody Wednesday. Hello, tell us about your internet now. Everybody,
guy likes
about his internet.
Guy likes to pretend that he's a professional, and he comes in with irrelevant information. Moving on.
Speaking of irrelevant information, can we talk about our stupid ex-dumb vice president? He was an idiot too. Our ex-president. What a jackass! Dude, did you see his announcement?
No, we can't. No, we can't talk.
No, we are. No, we are.
I don't give a shit.
No, because this isn't politics, bro. This isn't politics, okay?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and show you what exactly it is.
You can talk about it then.
So leading up to yesterday or today, Donald Trump, he...
Spit it out so it goes quicker.
Donald Trump's been making this announcement all week. He's in a lot of trouble, as everybody knows. The walls are, they're caving in around him.
Allegedly.
And he is. No, they are. I mean, every fucking possible thing that you could be charged for a crime is heading his way. And there's just no way around it. So he's done everything in his power to try to make it so like you can't prosecute me. So he announces a presidential run way too early, way before anybody else, just so it looks like it's political, right? Well, now I don't know what his game plan is with this.
Why is it way too early? Why? Like I'm gonna go with your topic. Why was it too early? I don't know.
Because
educate me.
Have you seen any other person announce a running for a president?
No. Is there like a designated
there's no
time
rules
that they do
to
that,
it?
or
no, there's no rules to it. But he did it like as soon as the midterm elections ended, and the reason he did it was because he is under tons of scrutiny from the Department of Justice, the state of New York, the state of Georgia. They got the special counsel to come in so that the after he said he was running for president, the DOJ. He brought
what was that council called? It was like, what was that council? It was like brutal master or something. It's like some kind of like.
I don't know, but I know the dude that they brought in is a guy who like prosecutes war crimes overseas.
Oh yeah, that was the guy that he had like some kind of title. We'll refer to him as warlord, the warlord.
So they bring warlord in to take down the jackass, right? Yeah. So he runs, he announces his presidential run. But now he makes this thing that there's a big announcement coming. And he's revealed on Thursday that former President Donald Trump revealed a new foray into NFT sales, sharing a website that offers a series of what he called digital trading cards for $99. Please. Now, I want to know if I'm able to share the screen because... I just want you to look at what his announcement was. Okay, Here we go. We're sharing screen.
Notice my thrilled enthusiasm.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Look at that, dude. That is what this jerk-off has gotten to. Everything about this, all he's trying to do is
get Jonny,
as many people on his side.
Why don't you explain what we're looking at?
Well, it is a picture of Donald Trump in
painting.
You know what it is? It's a complete ripoff of a.
It's Rocky IV.
Well, no, it's a bad Superman. Like think about it. Look at the way that's set up. He's got the T in the center where the S would be.
It's Donald Trump wearing a Superman suit. He's jacked with muscles, which is hilarious.
Right.
He has
it does look like Rocky IV.
Championship belt on. and
It
he's
does-
in
yeah.
it's like he's in a Rocky IV.
It's like
boxing
Rocky
ring.
IV because Apollo Creed wore the American fucking shorts, and he's wearing
I
the
played-
American cape, and he's got American flag
All right,
boots.
question for you. Why is he always depicted in these drawings as like this jacked Rambo type dude? I played Sturgis a couple of years ago.
He's a
and they were
fucking
selling-
fat ass.
They were selling T-shirts of him on a motorcycle with like machine guns up in the air. He's like this headband on. He's all these muscles. Like let's call it what it is. He's obese, and that's
he's a
not
fucking-
mean. That's not mean. That's just a word to describe
I
his
mean,
body
is
type.
it not mean? I mean, the guy's a fucking jerk off on every fucking level. That guy.
It's funny.
Well,
This
you
is
know
why
what
I
it
don't
is,
want to
dude?
talk. This is why I don't want to talk about. This is why I don't like this topic because like
It's
you
not
just call him a jerk
politics.
off.
When-
Like
yeah, he
like,
is a jerk off.
I agree, but it makes you sound like an angry guy.
Okay, why? Does that make me sound like an angry guy?
I don't know, dude.
I don't think it makes me angry. I think
He's a clown.
Well, that's the thing. The guy's a clown, and he's doing everything in his power to like deflect. This is what. Okay, listen, man. I'm not
Yeah,
even going to talk
totally.
fucking politics on like what he did for the country or what he didn't do for the country. I don't care. To each their own. You want to like a fucking guy like that, you could have no class along with that fucking guy. I don't care. But what I will say
subtles
is
in
this. Well, but it's the truth. It's like, how do you respect anybody who's like, Donald Trump is a great guy? The guy's got no class. He rips people off. He rips off his own fucking family. Everything about the guy is terrible. Like, he's just a terrible human. Put aside the president thing. He was a terrible human
I
before
bet he's a
he was
good
a
golfer.
president. No, I hear he cheats in that too. Go watch that documentary I told you about.
Really?
He's known to
Doesn't
cheat.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't
You know what he
course.
reminds me of? You ever see Caddyshack? And the guy who
Yes.
wears the hat that Rodney
talk about
Dangerfield goes,
Caddyshack.
I don't know who would buy this hat.
Oh,
and
the
then
guy
he
that
looks
has
at
the
that,
boat?
and the guy's wearing the judge. The judge is wearing that. He
Yes.
goes, oh, but it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
good on you though. Well, the judge is out there fucking golfing, and he's got that guy who wants the scholarship, and the guy he shoots it off into like the no man's land.
He,
and
like,
kicks
he
the
kicks his ball into
he
better
kicks it in,
placement,
and he
and
goes
he's like-
right. He kicks it, and he goes, you didn't see that. That's what I think Donald Trump is like to play golf with. He's a fucking
golf with.
cheater. Okay. Yeah, like that's who when he plays golf. So the way I look at it like this is doing something like this. The narcissism to release a digital version of you dressed up like a wannabe fucking Apollo Creed meets Superman, fucking is for $99 is crazy. But it's what's behind it. It's everything I can do to deflect all the
Yeah,
fucking
because
shit
people are going to
coming
talk
at me.
about that instead of all the other bullshit. But I mean, like, seriously. If I came out with an NFT with a non-fungible,
What is an NFT? What is that?
well, it's Bitcoin, but it's non-fungible trade, something like not something whatever. I
He's
don't
coming
know.
up with his
okay?
own Bitcoin?
No, but if I
That's
came
what
out
this
with
is?
one and I depicted myself as, call it a 320-pound NFL lineman.
You'd be lying.
That's an inaccurate representation of what I look like as a human being. So, like, whatever, dude. We're talking about it. Okay, congratulations. We're talking about it.
Well, I figured we could because it's not about politics. It's just
Yeah.
about a jerk off who once held office in politics, who will never hold office again because you
I'll
know
give
what's
him
going to be the
this.
best day? What's that?
He's an entertaining human being. Whether it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Hey,
But
listen, you're right. He is an entertainer, human being. Stick with entertainment, jerk off. You were on The
Yeah.
Apprentice. You had no right being the president of the United States. As a matter of fact, he didn't want to be the president of the United States. He looked at the whole presidential campaign as one huge infomercial for his business and to score a new contract for The Apprentice.
Well, the
But
theory,
what
the
had
theory,
happened was
yeah, the theory
he
is that
won.
he had a bad TV deal for The Apprentice. He was doing it as
Yeah.
like a publicity stunt, but I don't. He
Right.
still won. I don't think he just win.
Did
that
you see the look
effortlessly.
on his face when he went to accept the presidency, like when he won?
No.
The look on his face was like, fuck, I did not mean, nor did I want to win this fucking.
Well, then why would he be doing it again?
Oh, to stay out of jail.
To troll.
No,
yes.
no.
Okay,
That's
he wants
what
to-
it is.
He wants
That is
to
the only, and that
pardon.
and
Oh,
that goes
yeah.
back to what I said about running for president. Because
Yeah.
see, if you're president, you can't be prosecuted. What this
Yeah.
jerk off doesn't realize is you're not president when you're running, so therefore you can be prosecuted. And the second thing is the reason why he's doing it is because if he can make it sound like they're only after him in a political situation. But the bottom line is the guy is a criminal. He's a criminal.
Did I ever tell you my Germany story? Well, you were with me. We were at
I
the
don't know,
airport.
but I remember you told me you met O.J. Simpson. Are you about to tell me you met Donald Trump too?
I'd rather meet OJ. No, we were in Germany.
I think I
and
would too.
We were in Germany and we were going through customs and they put that yellow sticker on our passports, which sent us to a second custom line where we went through customs again. And I asked one of the guards there, it was this lady, big person, big human being. I was like, why are they sending, why do we have to go through customs twice? And she said verbatim, she said, well, if you guys put up walls, she said the yellow stickers for Americans, if you put up walls, other countries are going to do that too. And she didn't say it to be shitty. She said it just factually. It was like, oh, okay, well, like, it's just my first realization of just like the repercussions of people like that. Moving on, or do you have more to say?
Well, I will say that I think he's a clown. And
What's on your shirt?
Massive Wagons. It's their shirt. But what's cool about it is it's a complete ripoff of the Sex Wax logo.
Of what? Wait,
Sex
of
wax,
what now?
you know,
Of what?
Sex Wax.
Oh,
it's
for
the
like
surfboard
surfboards?
wax.
Yeah.
It is that logo. They completely ripped off that logo.
Wow. Massive Wagons.
But it's cool.
Y'all gonna get sued.
Oh, dude, I want to get those guys on this
toured-
show eventually. I'm gonna
you-
try to get those guys on here.
That'd be cool. Shout out Massive Wagons.
Moving on. Listen, dude. This world. Speaking of scumbags, I have a friend who got scammed the other day by one of those phone scammers. Now, my friend, lucky for him, he was able to catch it before they took his money. But the bottom line is, I want to know this: how do people during the holiday season
Yeah.
consciously rip people off?
I have an answer for you. When you're ready.
Can I finish when I finish my question? It'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ripping people off at the holidays, any time of the year is terrible.
Any time of the
but
year.
like they put it in high gear, like overdrive when the holidays come. How do they lay their heads down at night and like they're okay with it?
They're trash human beings. That's
I have an answer for you. Actually, I have an answer for you because we did some research earlier in the week about this because I wanted to tell you about it.
They're trash human beings.
I found out while looking at some of those fuck with scammer videos on YouTube, which are like the best things ever. I'm not going to bore any of you people with this.
Yeah.
But it is fucking
I like
some great shit.
like
the glitter bombs.
Glitter bombs. Yeah, those
they're
the
great.
best, dude.
By watching one of those, the original caller, the first guy that calls and gets you on the phone, makes $7,000 a week. $7,000 a week, okay? The guy who does the follow-up, who actually gets you to either give the money or to put the debit card into your account or whatever it is the scam is.
It's like the
that
rank
guy
and
gets,
file of the
yeah,
scammers.
that guy the second guy in line gets $15,000 a month. So,
Jeez, that's how they sleep at night.
well, that's how they sleep at night. Some asshole's making $60,000 a month. What is that a year? 6 times 12? That's fucking $720,000 a year.
I mean,
they said that they bring in, what was it, $68,000 a day. These scam call centers. There's four huge ones in this one city in India. They bring in these four things bring in $68,000 per day per company.
I'll put a link. I'll put a link to that video that we watched.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
We'll do our part to spread the good word. Because in the video, he says, "Do your part to spread the good word. Share this video around."
spread the good
and
word.
it just came full circle to me that that's exactly what we're doing here.
That is. And with that being
Question
said,
though. Like how? Okay, I know this is completely different, but like, what about tobacco companies? What about alcohol
dude,
companies?
fuck those.
I mean, like,
fuck 'em.
how do they sleep at night?
Well, I often think about the tobacco ones because there's a guy at R.J. Reynolds, or wherever, that's I think who makes Marlboro, or whoever makes Camels or whatever. There's a president of that company who lays his head down at night knowing that hundreds of thousands of people die every year of lung cancer caused by smoking. So it's like, how does that fucking asshole live with himself? Like seriously, because it's blood money. You're making millions of alcohol. Listen, I'm not gonna shit so much on alcohol because I like it. Okay, big fan of it. But but what about the guy, the heroin dealer or the crack dealer or the meth dealer? Those people sleep at night, and it's all because they get money. Money, there's an old saying that rich people say. That the people who say this saying are poor, and they probably are because I say it and I'm poor. But the bottom line is the saying is the saying is money is the root of all evil. Now, rich people like to say that only poor people say that. With that being said, it is. Think about it. The guy from fucking Camel who has to sleep at night, he's able to sleep. Why? Because he makes millions for being the president of Camel or Marlboro. The guy who sells the heroin, the guy who sells the coke, the guy who sells the meth. All these people are able to lay their heads down at night because they're making good money, and their philosophy is, well, I'm not telling them to take it. I'm just providing a service. Sure, I can see that side. Yeah. But I'm just throwing facts, bro.
Yeah.
I'm throwing fucking
facts.
I'm throwing.
It's okay. My problem with that.
Facts.
Yeah, there it is. My problem with that statement, though, is the word all. It's not the root of all evil. It's the root of evil. It's the root of a lot of evil. Money is the root of a lot of evil. Doesn't have the same ring to it, That's why they say all.
But that's a fair statement. Mm-hmm. It's not the root of all evil. There's lots of evil out there. You know what I mean? But you could probably break down that root to make it all come back to the same thing, because it's the fucking greedy meth dealer who sells to the guy who goes and fucking kills his family because he's been strung out on meth for a fucking week. So there, essentially, the money was the root of that evil as well. Even though that guy was probably wired.
Yeah,
it's probably wired wrong on the inside, but still.
Someone you know?
No, I don't know anybody who killed their family on meth.
Hey man, someone's got to keep this shit light.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. If I did know somebody who killed their family on meth, would you still be my friend?
Of course. I met OJ. I shook his hand. You still my friend?
I feel dirty. No matter how many times I wash this hand, because I've shaken your hands many times. You and I have a 6 degree of separation. We have a 2 degree of separation to OJ. Would you hang with him now?
No, dude. No. I'm joking.
No.
Yeah, no.
I might sit down. Well, listen. I might sit down and have a beer with OJ if the opportunity presented itself, because I'd be like, OJ, tell me, you look pretty fucking guilty, bro. Come on.
My memory serves me. He was an entertaining human being to be around. Yet again, trash human, but he was an entertaining guy. He had this little hype man with him that was like bouncing around, like, you want to meet the juice? You want to meet the juice?
So the day of the murders of OJ's murders, his kids are having a dance.
Don't get into OJ, Johnny. Don't get into OJ, Johnny.
Hold on. Listen, dickhead. Listen. Check it out. His daughter had a dance recital at the Paul Revere Middle School.
Yeah.
Right? I drove by that the other day, and I was like, oh, my God, there's the Paul Revere Middle School.
Hey, let's...
Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Late on
Get Andy.
Late on Andy.
All right, so we have... Okay, so today... Our guest is Andy Guttercat. You want to tell people who Andy Guttercat is, Ryan Harris?
Well, you know Andy, so why don't you do it, buddy? You're the talker. You're the slick one.
I've met Andy a bunch of times. He was a Bullets and Octane fan. That's how I met him. But Andy is probably our number one whatever buddy podcast.
Yeah, I think so. He's
can you pull up a picture of him before we bring him on? Show him what he's the only person to ever do, including over us, please.
Yeah, check it out.
So
that's cool.
Andy, Thank day
you for doing that.
I get tagged on Instagram by Andy Guttercat, and he's wearing this shirt, his own made whatever buddy podcast shirt. I'm hoping he's wearing it when he comes on the show today. That would be absolutely wonderful. But like, it's amazing. It's like, hey Andy, where's my shirt, bro?
Well, this is why I like people like this. He's supportive of art and of things that people create, and like, we're trying here. So whenever we get somebody doing something like that, it's freaking cool. Thank you. Let's get Andy.
And to be fair, I don't know anything about Andy, so we're about to learn.
About to find out. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
my man.
He looks a lot like the
What's
picture.
happening, Andy? First of all, hey, dude, nice to meet you. You've met Jonny. You never met me, but good to meet you. Good to meet you.
That's right.
Oh, God, I need an accent. Dude, I need an accent.
Do you know I was going to start the video like this, look.
Well, I was going to say, that's amazing.
Welcome to Ryan and Jonny Show.
That's amazing. I was actually just going to say that I recognize the room from the picture of you wearing that shirt.
From your Instagram, yeah.
That's amazing, that shirt. How'd you do it? What did you do?
Jonny, you're in a band.
Yeah, but I call people and I order a shit ton of shirts. I don't get one. It's not.
I bootlegged it.
True. Nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I grabbed the logo off your website, and there's a company over here, basically where you can just put the logo straight onto a T-shirt for you as a one-off.
You're better at my podcast than I am, Andy.
I don't think so.
Well, I saw you used to have a podcast.
Yeah, I did a few podcasts during lockdown.
Wait, before we get to that, we're going to get to that. Let's just say, everybody, this is Andy Guttercat. Andy, I know through Bullets and Octane. The days of touring with Bullets and Octane is when I met Andy. That's right. Andy is, I don't think it's hands down our biggest podcast fan. So it's pretty cool because, I don't know you in a way where I know a lot about you, which I plan on learning today. But I did. Now we get back to the podcast thing. Going through, your stuff, I did notice that you did have 5 or 6 episodes or something of a podcast.
I did, yeah. It just kind of came to a halt because I moved back to doing some music again. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts, weighing things up. With doing
we get it
normal work life,
it's a lot.
Music, podcasts, the podcasts were taking up a bit of time as well with, as you know, Ryan, from editing and stuff like that.
What was your podcast about?
Just really talking to people that I'm fans of, for instance, and talking about their latest projects. There was a band called the Middle Night Men. I don't know if you know them. They'd just recently started up at the time when I did the podcast with them. So it was a case of getting some background on them. And I was one of the first people to interview them as well. But obviously they've become a lot bigger band now since I did that. So I was quite privileged to have done that particular interview.
Well, maybe we'll become maybe we'll become a much bigger podcast now that you're talking to us. So
it could do. Yeah.
Midas touch, I think. Yeah, you got the Midas touch. Let's call it that.
In all honesty, though, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades as well, because obviously I've done the podcasts. It was also video interviews like we're doing now as well, not just the podcasts. There's the photography side of it. I also do the videos. Yeah, the cats come to see us now. Look.
What up? You came to the right place. Awesome. You came to the right place.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I love cats.
So, but going back to what I was saying, it's kind of like a bit of a jack of all trades. I do the music, obviously, and I'm cheeky enough to go out and ask people to do various bits on my music for me. And
Speaking
I also
of
do
music,
the videos to go with the music.
Yeah, I've seen a few. They're awesome.
Jonny wants to get a word in.
Jonny the Interrupter just enters the chat.
Well, he mentioned music. And he's British. And I have a theme of asking every time we have a British guest on if they know of one of my favorite bands who happens to be a British band. And it's amazing because none of my friends know this band, but I know them here in America. Ned's Atomic Dustbin.
Yes, I've heard of them. I can't say that I was a big fan of them. They played local back in the day. I have heard of them. I couldn't name a track if you asked me, but I do know of the band.
I'll say this, and I don't mean this to come across as an insult, but Jonny likes quirky, weird music. What was the band we were talking about the other? What were we talking about the other day? The 3-chord band. I can't think of why can't I think of the band's name? The Blister in the Sun band.
Violent Femmes, one of my faves.
Yeah, them. Yeah, love that kind of stuff. And I mean, they're
Yeah,
successful.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a knock on the band or a knock on Jonny. It's just like,
Hey,
you have
listen,
a
I
music
love
style.
AC/DC. I love Zeppelin. I love all that stuff too. But I love bands like one of my
Yeah,
favorite bands is
yeah.
Too Much Joy.
Yeah.
Bands that, I stumbled upon this like in the early '90s when everybody went grunge, which I got into some of it, but I kind of like really dug the rock of the '80s when I was a little kid, and I kind of just found the college rock thing kind of. I grew more towards that like early '90s thing. You know what I mean? And I found all these like weird, obscure fucking college rock bands.
I was an 80s rocker, I suppose. Even late 70s, 80s.
What are
I
some of the
grew up
shows
through
you've
all
seen?
That glam era.
What what bands did you see as a kid that were going to be like, wow, that's crazy? Like you met Phil Lynott. That's crazy.
Yeah. The very first band that I went to see was Slade.
Oh shit!
Wow.
You know Slade?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, my mates and that weren't into Slade at all. They'd never been to a gig. It was my very first gig, and I went actually on my own, not even with my mates.
Where
it was
at?
Just
What's
a local theatre called Coventry Theatre. But the first kind of real influential band that I went to see, which was the second gig I went to, was Black Sabbath and Van Halen.
Wow, that was Ozzy's last tour. That was '78.
Yeah.
That was that was like seriously.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about that a lot lately because
Yeah.
Van Halen blew Black Sabbath off every
Oh, they
night
did,
from
yeah.
what they say.
Yeah.
And then Ozzy left or he got kicked out or whatever. But then he got
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads. And then I was recently thinking, like, there's no doubt in my mind that Eddie Van Halen must have been stuck in Ozzy's head. Because, like, apparently when he met Randy Rhoads, he was like, oh, my God, this is the guy. I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah.
if, like, just Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, they just, like, stamped that into his brain that, like, when he... Because, like, Randy,
Dude,
it's the
that's my
same style,
favorite. That's my favorite thing about Van Halen is that they had like they were light humored. They were fun. But they could open for Black Sabbath and blow them off the stage. They could open for they could be on Donington and Eddie Van Halen could have orange pants on and they're still the best band there. Like metalheads love that. You know what I mean? It's a unique thing. That's a unique
Think about what he
quality.
just said, though. He just said that he saw Van Halen on the Van Halen 1 tour. That's what he just said.
I went out the
That's
next day
wild.
and bought Van Halen 1. I'd never heard or seen them before. Never heard of them. And they just blew me away.
How was Sabbath that day?
Again, it was only my second gig experience, but I really enjoyed them. And I only went to the gig, believe it or not, on hearing and seeing them play Never Say Die on a British TV program called Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
My mates were all into Black Sabbath quite heavily at that point, but for me, I'd not really got into them that much. But Never Say Die song came on the TV, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and buy a ticket and go and see these. I'm really glad that I did because that was at that point I got to see Van Halen, which was the turning point, really, that turned me on to a lot of the LA glam stuff in later years.
Dude, I need a British accent. I'm telling you, I need a British accent.
No, this is quite surreal, really, chatting here to you both.
No, it's cool,
All these episodes that I've watched, and you're on. I can even tell you're on episode 67 now. Is that correct?
Yeah, 67, dude.
Yeah.
Correct.
You were probably going to ask me this anyway, but I find it quite intriguing and interesting, should we say, to see the perspective of the lifestyle in America that you lead musically, and in everyday life as well, with Jonny's rants and moans about different things. It's a good perspective and comparison to the way that we do things here and obviously the way that you do things there. I really enjoy that side of it, when I watch it.
Is it more of a similarity or more of a difference?
I find it's the difference, I think, really. I mean, I tried to just jump in on a couple of episodes earlier, and one of the things that kind of makes me laugh sometimes is the pronunciations of some of the words that you say.
Yeah.
And Jonny was on the one doing the Ibiza.
How do you say
Ibiza.
it?
Yeah.
Ibiza, we call it, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But that was just one of the examples that I could think of. But yeah, but I just and enjoy the rants that Jonny goes on as well. That he's not been served with the correct meal or whatever when he goes to his local takeaway.
It's carried over. I was talking to a German guy the other day who I've met a few times, and he just randomly dropped the joke. I went out to eat with him one time, and it was like such an ordeal with the no cheese, and I had to have him order because we were in Germany and stuff like that. So like the first thing he says to me when we get on the phone is like, "Oh, so how's the cheese?" You know, like it's just like it's really funny that like it's actually it's a real thing. It's funny because that real thing will probably be the same thing that either helps me or hurts me when it comes to dying one day. I'm either going to be stoked because I didn't eat all that crap that everybody else eats on their shit, but all the shit that I don't eat that I should be eating could kill me. So
Johnny's gonna live to 100 because he doesn't eat cheese.
That would be amazing, dude. Like no lie, and I do buy this one. You keep the fucking stress down. You hear it from anybody who's like an old person. It's like the only time I've heard otherwise was the lady that was 106, and they asked her what was the trick, and she said, well, I was miserable and I was trying to drink myself to death and I'm still here. So like, and she's still drinking and smoking. She's like, I was drinking and smoking, hoping to, that's what she said. She goes, I wanted to die. So I was drinking and smoking, and she's like, and here I am. But everybody else, like Betty White, or like this guy I saw the other day, I saw this amazing article on a guy who's like turning 100, who's still fucking like drives himself to the gym and kicks ass.
Yeah.
It's keeping that stress level down. You know, like you could do what you love to do, then, you know, it lowers your stress. When you don't have to worry about money, which money is the key to it. You know, the best thing Paul Stanley's ever said to me, in my opinion, is, you know, he goes, the best thing
Paul ever told me.
I read this, or I heard him say it in an interview. I don't know Paul Stanley, nor do I want to. Bottom line, though, is
he's rad.
He said the best thing about having money is it makes you forget about money, and when you can forget about money, you can live. Think about it. When you don't have to worry about paying your bills, when you don't have to worry about hey, I want to go to the islands for the weekend, or whatever the fuck it is you want to do with yourself. If you don't have to worry about the financial aspect of life, what do you worry about? Just think about it. What am I stressed about? I stress about fucking money.
This is your TED Talk topic.
But it's the fucking truth. When I don't worry about money, I'm not worried about anything.
So, devil's advocate, my man, don't you think that if that wasn't your worry, there would be something else in some other department of life that would be like, that's my thing?
No. Because when I have money, I don't worry about anything. The amazing thing would be like if I was on tour and didn't have to worry about money and was actually making a shit ton of it. And then I can only imagine how like I would literally be a pig in shit. Like literally, I'd be walking around with my pants. They're going to arrest me. It doesn't matter. I got the money to bail myself out. Woo!
Is that because you still wouldn't be showering?
No, because
you'd be a literal pig in literal shit because you went 5 shows without showering and you're wearing T-shirt 1.
I changed my shirts and socks and boxers. I'll change those. Boxers, maybe not so much, but the shirts and socks after. Shirts, they're wet when I get done playing. I have to change it. But I rotate it. I'll put day 1 on day 3. From day 1, it's just dry.
That's so gross to me.
It's just gonna get wet again. What's the big deal?
Ryan's just amazed.
You're not.
Ryan and I are so opposite.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, I mean
he showers 3 times a day sometimes, but will always shower twice. He will not go through a day without showering twice. And if he does, he's probably like, I'm such a loser. I only showered once today.
I do that on tour too, though. Like it's not.
I don't know how.
You get up because before you leave, you get a shower before you leave, and then you got to sleep somewhere.
Okay, if you're sleeping in the motorhome, okay, and you have to shower in the rest stops, would you do that?
Probably would do that. I wouldn't be my ideal, but I would do that as opposed to the alternative of not.
I'd be worried about the fucking trucker in the stall next to me trying to give me a hand job or some shit. You know, like I'd be like,
well, that's your own personal problem, my man.
Well, I've watched too many weird shit.
Hey, Johnny, don't stick your wiener through the hole. Lock the door, and that trucker can't get to you.
Rob Halford used to do that shit. Rob Halford, read his book. Rob Halford used to do that on tour back in the 80s. back in the 80s. He used to like
would do like glory hole stuff.
Glory hole stuff while on tour with Judas Priest, and like even one time ran into a fan.
Can I just put in there and tell you that that was another band that I saw. I think it was about the fourth gig that I went to. Judas Priest with Iron Maiden supporting.
Oh, that'd be rad.
What tour? What tour was that?
That would have been the Killing Machine tour.
Wow.
For Judas Priest, yeah.
What about Maiden? What Maiden tour was it?
That would have been about the time of the first album. So it would have been Paul Di'Anno on vocals
so they had their first singer.
Wow.
Yeah. But
you saw Priest before Priest was anything. Nice segue. You can tell he's had a podcast. He took us from glory holes to fucking Judas Priest live before they were famous.
Essentially put us back on a much better path.
Anyways, awesome. Hey, like I was gonna just ask you a question, but I thought it might be a good question for our first thing that comes to your mind segment. So Ryan, would you like to start that? You go.
Yeah.
You go first, buddy.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. Okay. I didn't write anything down, so I'm gonna wing these. Can you teach me a British word?
British words.
I don't know if British word's probably a dumb American way of saying it, but like, because like you said cheeky a couple times.
Wait, rephrase that question.
And you said that we say things differently, which is true. I want to learn something today because I need an accent. I need an English accent.
Rephrase that word. Rephrase that question to.
Okay. Were you editing me?
Rephrase it to. Well, no, but yeah, because I want you to go back and do it because it'll explain it better. What is the first word that comes to your mind that you would teach somebody from a foreign country?
What is the first word that comes to your mind that you would teach somebody from a foreign country?
I suppose please or thank you.
Yeah. Johnny's question sucked.
You know, manners.
Okay. What? Yeah. Okay. Fuck that. I hate that answer. Let's get back.
No, I got this. I'm currently teaching myself to have a British accent or Australian or Scottish or whatever because I think it would help me be more popular with girls. You know what I mean? So
the thing is though with a British accent is that you've got so many different types of British accent.
Okay.
I.e., you can go to Newcastle and they will speak different to someone who comes from Liverpool or someone who comes from Birmingham.
If you go to Manchester, they don't even sound like they're talking English.
Yeah.
So, allow me to try it. If I'm in a pub and I walk up to some bird, what should I say to her?
That's funny.
All right, darling.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Can I buy you a drink, love?
Can I buy you a drink, love?
We're going down the route of chat up lines though now, aren't we? Really?
Yeah, I'm vaguely offensive right now.
All right, I'm going to ask a question. First thing that comes to your mind, favorite What Everybody podcast episode?
I think, like I say, it was the first one, to be honest, with the Gulch. Because I was interested in the photography side of things that was brought up and the band photography in general. It's an area that I would like to get into more, band photography.
You guys are like basically in the same town. Like you should know the Gulch. He's a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. I love that man, and he is super crazy talented. Yeah. You guys like live down the street. You probably live 30 minutes from each other.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe this podcast will bring these two fine
far
together.
Yeah.
Well, no, Ryan, it's a half hour away. That's too long. The trains are on.
But going back to your question about episodes, there was the episode that you did when you went onto the Sunset Strip and things. They're quite interesting to see from a different perspective as well from your side. In fact, you were gonna do a podcast from the Viper Room, if I recall, but obviously
I just want to say, I tried to make that happen.
Yeah, no pun intended. Mm-hmm. We got ghosted.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. We were gonna stay the night in the Viper Room. That was what the plan was.
Well, let's let's try again, Johnny.
when we started this, we were like, well, we've only done music, so let's try stepping outside. Hence, we had the Gulch on. He's a photographer, and we've had some other people from the Viper Room stuff. But it all comes down, even having the Gulch or the people from the Viper Room, it always comes back to music. That's the one thing, because that's what we know, and that's who we know. So, after a while, we finally did just embrace the fact, well, I guess, you know what, dude, we're going to talk about fucking music, because that's what we know. I mean, for crying out loud, look where I'm fucking sitting. You know what I mean?
We were originally
That's all my stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
Music.
We were originally going to call the podcast Stories and just tell like music
You were indeed.
music and tour stories.
S with a capital T.
Yeah.
He knows all about it. You're explaining it to a guy who probably knows more about the podcast than we do, because we forgot about it.
It's funny.
You know what I mean?
It's funny.
And
it was in the planning for quite a while, and you were going to do stories, and then you thought, no, we're going to run out of tour stories if you're not careful. So you went down a different route.
So question. First thing that comes to your mind. Best show, or rephrase it. Favorite show you've ever been to in your entire life, and why? You have 10 seconds to answer this.
Sex Pistols, Finsbury Park.
Saw Sex Pistols. We were talking about that. I said to him, I said to Ryan, I'm like, something tells me he's seen the Sex Pistols. That's pretty awesome. We've had two guests in a row now. We've had two guests in a row that have seen the Sex Pistols. Michael Goldberg was actually the writer we had on the last day. He saw their very last show at Winterland or whatever in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Where did you see them?
I saw them on their first gig that they did after that Winter Wonderland one, which was at Finsbury Park in London. I missed out on them first time round. I just wasn't going to gigs at that point. As I said, I'd gone to see Slade first, but Finsbury Park, the thing that I remember about the whole gig at Finsbury Park was that as soon as they came on, England had just won a football match that day, so the whole crowd was buzzing anyway. But Sex Pistols are very much a British band, and they came on with all their Union Jack flags on the stage, etc. And as soon as they came on, the whole field was just bouncing.
How many people
when
were
I say
there?
A field, it was I wouldn't like to say thousands, but the whole field. And I can recall there were, because we were in a park, they were hanging from the trees. They were sitting in the trees watching the gig. It was just exceptional. And it's just one of those standout moments. But on the same bill that day, there was quite a few different bands at the time, and they kind of mixed it up a little bit with not just the Sex Pistols on the bill, but some of the other older punk bands that were of that era as well. And they mixed it up with some of the known bands at the time, like the Wild Hearts.
Oh, I love that band. I love that band so much.
You know the Wild Hearts.
I love that band so much. I'm late to the game. I only found out about them a couple of years ago, but it was like I absorbed all of it. Question of the day: what's a Guttercat?
What's the Guttercat? Believe it or not, I nicked the name from Bret Michaels.
Oh, that's another
Bret Michaels.
Interesting.
I was not expecting that.
Fan.
That is like the curveball of all curveballs.
Curveball of all curveballs.
A little bit of background history then. At the time, in the early 90s, I'd split away from doing music a little bit. And me and a mate of mine, we went back to doing some music in the early 90s before it kind of became a thing even, of doing acoustic songs. It kind of started happening in about the mid-90s, I think, that a lot of bands started doing this,
like
acoustic
stuff.
Sessions, etc. And me and my mate, we went out and we played around a few venues locally, doing these acoustic songs, a few covers and a few of our own. But at the time of doing this, Bret Michaels had put together a solo band in California, like LA or whatever, and it was called Bret Michaels and the Hollywood Guttercats. And I thought, Guttercats, that's a great name. I'll have that. Yeah. So that's where it came from.
Nice.
But if you look into it a little bit further, I think you'll find that Alice Cooper does a song called Guttercat. So that's where it came from. And then obviously over the years we've done the Guttercats, and I do the Andy Guttercat now.
So the Guttercats is your band. That's your band name, and then you just go by like Andy Guttercat because of the Guttercats.
took the idea from the Ramones, which is what a lot of people do. You know, Jonny Ramone. It was Andy Guttercat from Guttercats. Yeah. And then we've also got an artist that does a lot of work for me. I don't know if you've seen the cat logos and things. He's done a very much similar to the Iron Maiden Eddie thing, and he does a different version of the cat each time I put something out. He does a different version of that cat for me.
With that being said, Andy, I want to thank you, dude, for coming in and fucking hanging with us, bro, and teaching us a little bit about you. Yeah, that's fucking
it's
pretty
awesome.
It's
been really, really enjoyable. I've enjoyed it.
Us too, man. Us too. Thanks for your support.
I'm very
continued.
I'm so grateful.
And, keep in touch. Love it.
I need to get one of those fucking shirts, and I'm gonna fucking definitely. I should be able to get one of those myself. I'll get my own. I'll figure it out one way or another.
Does it also mean I'm cheeky enough, if I need to ask Ryan if he'll do some guitar on one of my songs?
Send it my way, man. Send it my way.
Would it be cheeky of me to ask you to do our outro for us to say goodbye to the people?
Oh.
Dig it. Yeah. Let's say goodnight from here in the UK and in the US of A from whatever buddy cast here. Happy New Year and happy Christmas as well. Cheers.
Cheers. Make sure you like, subscribe, and report if you haven't already. And until next time, everybody.
I forgot that bit.
Thank you, Andy, for joining us. Ryan, it's always a pleasure. And until next week, everybody, you have a great week. And goodbye from the What Everybody podcast.
See ya.